it's fun. And I haven't been able to check out this 4K yet, but I'm looking forward to doing that at some point in the future. Soon. Soon it will be opened and viewed. Dunkirk. I've actually only seen this movie once in the theater. I enjoyed it. It's a pretty unorthodox war film. The structure of this movie it can be difficult to follow if you're not paying attention closely. And I think even Christopher Nolan once said of its plot and its structure, screw it. Let's just put the movie together in a weird way that allows me to explore the characters' circumstances without being too bogged down by narrative. Linear narrative, anyway. Got some really odd sticky sounds coming from this cellophane. You'll notice that a lot of my movies are still shrink wrapped. This is not because I'm trying to keep them in pristine condition, although that is nice. I just haven't gotten around to opening them. Most of these movies I've seen at least once, or even many times, but just not in this current format. So like I said, I saw this movie once in the theater. I thought it was great. I actually thought it was a lot longer than it really is. It's only an hour and 46 minutes. It's funny because watching this in the theater, I assumed after it was over that it was at least 2 hours. It felt long, you know. So I was surprised to buy the Blu-ray here and find out it's only an hour and 46 minutes, I believe. Yeah. But it's one of those films that when you watch it again and again and again, you can appreciate it more and more and more for what it was, and you catch things that you didn't quite see or realize or take in the first time. Dunkirk. Y'all like this one? What year is it? So I think this was made somewhere movie stars that are in this too. This is a great one and a very suspenseful thriller. If you have not seen The Prestige, highly recommend it. If you want to get into Christopher Nolan movies, this is a classic. Some sticky sounds action going on here. This also stars Michael Caine, Scarlett Johansson. Let's see what else we got. Tenet on Blu-ray. I've never seen this. I bought this one. It was on sale for about $10 at Best Buy several years ago. Rest in peace, Best Buy physical media section. This has a very nice brushed finish to it. You know, the slipcover is very, very nice. I love it when they give the slipcover a particular texture. Makes it feel a little more premium, you know, and that's partly the appeal of this disc here. But I've heard different things about this movie. I don't know too much about the plot, but I know it has to do with like time. I don't know if time travel is the right term, but time reversal. I could be mistaken. And I've also heard that this movie has a very confusing plot and that a lot of people still don't understand it even after repeated viewings. And I also heard that that's the way Christopher Nolan intended it. I'll be honest, that kind of turned me off a little bit from wanting to check it out. Even though I own it already, I will eventually see this, but I haven't really had the urge to check it out because of that. You know, I don't want to watch a movie that is not very clear on what the ending is or what it's supposed to be about. You know, I can respect Nolan's intent to space sci-fi, but only to an extent. Like, I still want to understand it and appreciate it for what it is. And it's a little hard if I don't really get it. But we'll see. Maybe I will get it. Maybe I'll be among the people that do understand it. I just haven't given it any time yet. So, yeah, who's in this anyway? John David Washington. I've never heard of that actor, and I have not heard of anything else he's ever been in since then. Robert Pattinson. Pattinson is in this. Robert Pattinson. Yeah, I'm sure this should be cool. Gotta check this out at some point. What else have we got? Batman Begins. Whether you like it or not, Christopher Nolan did a lot of things for the superhero genre with this film. This released in 2005, starring Christian Bale. This is Christopher Nolan's version of Batman, and I think in a lot of ways he kind of really created the definitive version of an on-screen Batman up till this point. I love the tone, of course, because it's dramatic, serious movie. It's not silly, campy, like the previous Joel Schumacher films, or even the Tim Burton ones, which I'm not a fan of for those same reasons. He really kind of pushed the genre forward here with this film in a lot of different ways. It's pretty safe to say that he's influenced an entire generation of filmmakers that have wanted to make superhero films and that have made superhero films that have come after this, including a lot of the MCU and the DC films too. Now, if you don't think that this is like the definitive version of Batman, or one of the definitive versions of Batman, that's fine. But I think you have to recognize that every director who's fortunate enough to tell a Batman story tells it according to his style and preferences, just like all the numerous authors do that get to write extensive runs in the comic book world. You know, you got your Grant Morrisons, your Alan Moores, your Scott Snyders, your Jeff Johns. All of them are different voices that have their own idea of what, say, Batman is. Just as Christopher Nolan has his own idea of what Batman is. I personally love the origin story that he was able to kind of reimagine here with his Batman Begins. I love it HDR10 is pretty good. I'm not gonna down HDR10. A lot of people are snobs and they'll say, "Oh, I don't buy a 4K Blu-ray unless it has Dolby Vision." HDR10 can still look excellent. In fact, it's all I have on my television. It's only equipped with HDR10, and it's more than enough. It's not as good as the Dolby Vision. I know the difference is there, but yeah, maybe Warner Brothers will get around to actually re-releasing these films again, but with a Dolby Vision option as well. That would be pretty cool, especially because they're movies that have a very dark palette. Yeah, Warner Brothers, why don't you get on that right now? Brand new Dolby Vision masters of Nolan's Batman trilogy. Come on, man. Alright, let's keep moving. Next up, we have Interstellar. What am I saying? Interstellar. Oppenheimer. Here's another movie that I've never seen. But that's okay, because I'll get around to it eventually. I love the sound that the disc makes. Giving him a shoulder massage. This is another really premium feeling slipcover. It's like brushed paper. It's really good. Yeah, I just wasn't caught up in the Barbenheimer hype. And of the two, of course, this one looked more interesting to me, but I have not seen it. But I was really happy to pick up this Blu-ray copy that comes with this excellent slipcover. I didn't feel like I needed it in 4K. So yeah, looking forward to checking this out. Can't say much about it. I haven't seen it. Looks cool though. It's a Christopher Nolan movie. It's got great movie stars in it. Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Poe. How do you say her last name? Florence Poe. Pug. Florence Poe. I think it's Florence Poe. Sorry, Florence Poe. I didn't mean to mispronounce your name. Oppenheimer. This should be cool. Next up is probably my favorite Christopher Nolan film, and that is Interstellar. 1996. Hear more adoration and admiration for this film than I think any other Christopher Nolan film. Hans Zimmer's work on this film has become so entwined in our culture. It's like almost laughable at how much of a life his music has taken on, a life of its own. That sounded redundant, but almost everybody has heard music from this film, even if you've never seen it, on probably billions of hours of different types of social media. They use it for serious reels, and they use it for memes and funny shit too. You know. Anyway, I think that's interesting. It's an interesting legacy that it has so far adopted. But man, oh man, where do we begin talking about this movie? I won't pontificate too much, but I will say that this is an amazing story. It's grounded in as much real-world theoretical science as we currently know at the time of its making. Visuals are stunning, performances are A+. The story is poignant and scary. I always thought this movie was scary. Not in the same way that, like, The Exorcist is scary, but scary in a very kind of existential way and in an isolation way. To imagine yourself being that far away from Earth, from everything that you know, completely by yourself with only a few people around you, and eventually, if you've seen the movie, with no one around you, that's just a frightening thought. And then to be so far away from everything that you've ever known to be true out in the universe, where things are very, very different and that are quite literally much more incredible than your mind can even fathom. It's just amazing. The point at which he goes into the space between space, basically the fifth dimension, was always scary too, because it's like, how do you even, like, even as a creative, how do you even conceive of the fifth dimension? They did a pretty interesting job here. Yeah, I love this movie. This is a 3-disc version that includes the movie on 4K and on Blu-ray, and a 3rd disc full of bonus features. Tons and tons and tons of bonus features. Yeah. Who's in this? Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain, Michael Caine, Ben Affleck's brother too. What's his name? Casey Affleck. Casey Affleck's in this too, right? Yeah, I believe so. Then we got one more, and that is Interstellar again.